Hello, everybody. Mike from Southern California again. It's Tuesday, March the 17th, 2020, St. Patrick's Day, and you're on the mic. Now, normally I would be saying that you know what time it is again, time for the anime convention preview. However, because of the coronavirus pandemic outbreak, of course, a lot of conventions have been either canceled or postponed. There's only like, to my last knowledge, there are only like two that were actually going on this weekend. So at least during for the time being, for the immediate, for the next probably few weeks here, while the pandemic's going on, I won't be doing the anime convention previews or the premieres of those just due to the fact, more or less a lot of the cons are getting canceled or postponed. Now, when things start to pick up again, hopefully next month, then I'll I'll be bringing it. So today's episode, instead of doing the anime convention previews, going to be giving some channel updates and also talk a little bit, of course, about just have some comments on today being St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So again, the first update, as I just said, the anime convention previews will be on hiatus until things start to pick up again, till like more and more of the cons start to become active again. Due to the coronavirus outbreak. Um, with that though, you know, um, I still, but that may be a downer. But I have some other news too. Now many of you, of course, hopefully you watch day to day the day to day news commentary segments on the mic. Those will still be going on. The VA profiles, voices big and small, will still be going on. I record those on Sunday afternoon or evening and have them premiere Friday night. So those will still be going on. Usually the anime convention preview episodes are part of the on the mic. We usually do them on Tuesdays so that you guys have plenty of time to decide if you want to go to a particular con or not. You know, there's one you find near you. Now, here's one more. Here's a new thing that's coming now. Um, I will be starting another feature segment on this channel. As I've often said, obviously I have my own set of niche interests, anime, cartoons, comics, you know, but also I'm also into pro wrestling, particularly, history of pro wrestling, having grown up, in the days when, Hulkamania was coming around and stuff like that. Um, Also seeing, the days of WCW, days gone past. So here's an announcement for you guys to look forward to for those of you who are pro wrestling fans, particularly fans of pro wrestling's history. Now, what I normally like to do, particularly on the weekends, is I usually like to try to go back and watch old, wrestling shows. Going all the way back, even before the time I was, I grew up in the '80s, so, but even going back to that, I went back all the way, I had started, I had gone all the way back to 1970. Well, now that I'm up into 1975, starting pretty soon here, look forward to the first episode of Squared Circle Calendar. What this feature will be is after I've watched a particular, like right now, I'm about halfway through January 1975. Once I finish watching 1975, I will be starting to post videos like squirt, like much like with my VA profile premieres. It'll say something more like Squared Circle Calendar dash, and then like in this case January. Anyways, once I get through watching the wrestling, shows or trying to track down what wrestling shows I can find from January 1975, then I will have my first episode of Squared Circle Calendar featuring some of the happenings, some of the main stories from that time period. Now, those, they're unlike with the VA profiles, those may not be, there may not necessarily per se be a set day and time I record those and upload those. It's whenever I finish, the month. So it could be middle of the week, it could be weekend, it could be like late Sunday night, it could be after. I could be doing both features. I could be doing the VA profile feature, and then right after recording and uploading the squared circle calendar feature. So it's going to depend upon when I actually finish. So for you pro wrestling fans out there, for those who are into the history of pro wrestling and learning more about not just pro wrestling here in the States, obviously, but up in Canada, you know, over in the UK, and over in Japan. Those are all the main, the European, I'll talk, of course, about some of the differences between the European style, the Japanese style, and the American style, and all that. So just kind of giving you an overview of how things evolved over how we got from the territory days of the 70s up to now, where we're at now. So hope you guys will look forward to that. Now, with that being said, one other thing, of course, I want to talk about today, as everybody, to all my Irish fans, all Irish, and those of Irish, all my fans of those of Irish descent. Today, of course, is St. Patrick's Day, and I know normally on St. Patrick's Day, that's usually a big, celebrating day where people go out to the local bars, pubs, and taverns and really just have a good old time. Well, with the coronavirus, of course, a lot of bars and pubs and taverns are getting, closed down for the time being to try to, contain the spread of the coronavirus. As I said on Friday, that we should not allow this pandemic to affect our lives. You want to go out and celebrate with your fans? I'd say just be wise about it. If you can, try to keep the crowds to a minimum. You know, um, be safe, be wise, but again, don't let the virus or the fear of a virus or the panic of the virus, change how you live your life. It's your life to live. And it really doesn't do much good. Some of the lockdown stuff that some parts of the world and country, or even some states here are doing here in the states. Ultimately, it's not really going to matter, because if it is, as human beings, we're all going to die at some point. If it's meant for our time to be now, then not much we can really do about it. So why panic? Why get all upset? Just live your life as you normally would. Or as some people, wise people would say, live today as if it was your last day. And then if you wake up tomorrow and you're alive again, you know, live that day as if it was your last day, and just appreciate each day, one day at a time. Okay, so now with all that being said, with the channel updates and my little commentary on St. Patrick's Day and all that, let's talk about some more pleasant stuff now. Um, okay, so now we're heading into my favorite segment. I hope you guys like this segment too. This day in niche history. So what on today is March 17th. So what happens on this day in niche history? Let's take a look at some things. I have like 3 items here you guys might be interested in. For on this date in 1950, the 85th issue of Captain Marvel Jr. went on sale on this date, published by Fawcett Comics. Captain Marvel Jr., of course, part of the Marvel, but not to be confused with Marvel's Captain Marvel comic. This Captain Marvel was originally published by Fawcett, eventually picked up by DC Comics. Captain Marvel Jr., of course, in his alter ego of Freddie Freeman Jr., not Freddie Freeman, not to be confused with the Atlanta Braves first baseman. Okay, this Freddie Freeman um, was a kid who befriended the Bastons. Um, his powers were bestowed upon him by Captain Marvel, a la Baston, um, or Billy Batson. Um, so so yeah. So as I said though, um, on this date in 1950, 70 years ago, Captain Marvel number 85 went on sale on this date. So, for those comic history buffs out there, that's a nice little tidbit to know. Also, on this date in 1997, Toonami premiered on Cartoon Network. On this date in 1997, which is like 23 years ago, Toonami premiered on Cartoon Network. Toonami, of course, as they often talk about, is what they call a portmanteau, which is when you kind of jam two words together to make one word. So Toonami, of course, is a portmanteau containing, kind of a mashing of the words cartoon and tsunami, which is, of course, loosely translated as Japanese word for tidal wave. It's it's an even bigger tidal wave a lot of times. As some have suggested, it's the idea that it's a tidal wave of cartoons. Toonami, of course, is the block that was kind of a action cartoon block that you had anime and American cartoons that were action based. You had like from the American side cartoons at the time like Batman the animated series, Reboot, Thundercats, Silverhawks. I think even He-Man and Masters of the Universe was on there for a while. Um, and of course, of the anime, some of the animes that were on there included Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball franchise, Sailor Moon, Gundam. You know, so so yes, on this date, in 1997, Toonami premiered on Cartoon Network. And finally, on this date in 2000, 20 years ago, 3 years after, um, in Mexico, Atlantis beats Villano Trace to take his mask in a mask versus mask match. So on this date in 2000, Atlantis would beat Villano 3 in a mask versus mask match. For to take his mask. Now there's a very big deal in lucha libre. The mask is how most people, a lot of people don't know. With a lot of mask wrestlers, their professional life and their public life or their professional life and their private lives are kept very separate. So it is a big deal when you take a guy's mask in one of these matches. You know, Again, in Mexico, it's in lucha libre, in the culture of lucha libre. Just in ways of settling a feud, you have a lot of mask versus mask or mask versus hair type matches in which it does kind of alter the career of the person who gets unmasked or gets their head shaven. So that happened on this date in 2000. Now, with that being said and done, I am the other spiel. Um, you guys want to check the link below. If you guys want to contact me directly, you can contact me through my Discord, direct message me there. You can check out my Discord and join if you'd like. Also, as you know, I'm still promoting a bunch of different dub companies. Funimation is not the only game in town. Don't let them make you think that it is. Um, let's see. Also, I'm still promoting the GoFundMe's. As always, guys, never feel like you have to donate. If you have the means to and it's on your heart to do so, please consider donating. If you have already donated, please consider donating again. And if you cannot donate, you can still help out the cause by sharing a link. And sharing is caring. You never know. Maybe somebody in your circle of friends um, might might want to help. You never know. It doesn't hurt to ask. And if you like this content, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I always look forward to the conversations with you guys, as long as, of course, they're civil and respectful. We can agree to disagree on certain issues. We can, we can, express our disagreements civilly and peacefully. Without resorting to personal attacks or calling each other names or what that. We can be better than that. You know, and I usually will respond. To comments. You know, comments that, with the very least likes and loves, but other things as well. So with that, guys, obviously no anime convention preview premiere tonight or for the next, probably at least the next maybe 3 weeks. Till the end of the through the end of the month. Well, at least two. We'll see about, because 2 weeks from today is, of course, 31st. Maybe by April they might start. Some of the cons might start going again, but we'll see. But as I said, I hope you guys have been enjoying my content. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.